I think the collision is one of the most brilliant moments ever in a sports movie.
Wow. Let's hear it.
It's so good.
Why?
It's so good. The whole movie's literally leading up to a collision.
Yes.
They set it up perfectly. She runs around third base. There's no way she should be coming around, right? And she's just like,
Runs
fuck
through
this.
the stop sign.
She's
Yeah.
like, fuck this. I hate my sister. I am barreling into her. And the sister, Gina, knows it's coming with about 10 feet to go. Like, oh, this is not about baseball anymore. This my own sister is going to try to murder me. And then we have the collision, the fallback, and the shot of the hand on the ball. And she lets the ball go, leading to the whole unanswerable question of, did she intentionally let the ball?
30-year debate at this point.
Oh my God. And then Kit gets carried off. She gets what she wanted. She's the hero. And then it cuts to Hanks and Gina Davis just kind of watching. And she has that small smile on her face.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it is executed start to finish masterfully. That is one of the best scenes in a sports movie.
I love this take. I largely agree. I was prepared to spend a good 15 minutes of this podcast talking about how every single cut that we get of the different angles of the collision are completely different positions around the plate.
I have that in Pick and Nits. Yeah, that is tough. They did. The assistant
the
director
one
must have
demerit.
did it. Yeah, that is tough. You're right. I've seen this movie enough times that I try to overlook that. You're right.
It's
the assistant director.
It's the one demerit.
Assistant director really screwed that one up. Did Dottie drop the ball on purpose?
Okay.
Here's what Gina Davis said. This is in one of the oral histories, the ESPNW oral history that now is no longer available online. I'll say two things about that. Number one, I know the answer because it was me, of course. I know the answer. And number two, no, I am not going to answer that question. I never have, and I never will. We've already established Gina Davis is one of the greatest rays of sunshine that God's produced in the last 30 years. Hey, Gina, fuck off. Give us the answer. What that's it? What is this, the JFK assassination? At least can you put in your will when you die, you'll tell us the answer? Like, since when did this become this secret that she's gonna die with the secret? It's a fucking sports movie.
I mean, it's generated almost as much online conversation and chatter as the JFK assassination. Yeah. This is if you Google this, I mean, it is a robust treasure.
It really is. Robust is a good word. It really is.
Obsessed with this debate. So our colleague and pal Katie Baker wrote a great piece in 2017 on theringer.com. What a great website for the 25th anniversary of the movie.
Yep.
She asked Laurie Petty about this, and Petty denied it. Most of the people, I think the Gina Davis response is actually pretty rare. I think most people in the movie, when they're asked about this, say absolutely not. She did not drop it on purpose. They reject that possibility.
Well, why would Gina Davis seem to think that only she can unlock this secret? She wasn't the director and she didn't write the movie. So why is she the one that knows? What did she audible? And if she audibled, wouldn't everybody on the set have seen that she was audibling? Or I don't know. My take is I think she dropped it unintentionally.
Yeah, me too. Ultimately, that's where I land.
I think she got absolutely trucked by her little sister, and she knew it was coming, but didn't know it was going to be as violent as it was. And the collision knocked her back and she dropped it.
I think that there are a couple compelling counterpoints that are at least worth mentioning.
Well, it does seem like she lets it go versus dropping it.
We also see and now every collision is different, right? Every baseball play is going to be different. You could do something successfully 99 times out of 100 and then still have that one mistake. But we do see another home plate collision with Dottie earlier in the film, and she has no problem holding on to the ball. Now, I think whether she did it intentionally or not, there could still be some sort of subconscious element to this, given the relationship between Dottie and Kit. I also think, she does repeatedly kind of say she doesn't care and she doesn't need this. That doesn't mean she doesn't want to win and doesn't want to try, but it's not the defining orienting moment of her life like it is for some of the other characters. However, and yes, as you just said, it does just seem quite literally like she lets go of the ball. But ultimately, I think One, Dottie's a good teammate, and she wouldn't do that to her teammates. I just don't believe that she would do that to her fellow Rockford Peaches who worked so hard and cared so much about that moment.
Counterpoint, she did ditch him for 6 games.
That's
but go
true.
ahead. But go ahead. My husband's home. I'll see y'all later.
Shine, she had learned something from the Kit resentment and wanted them to have their moment. I think the most compelling argument in favor of this not being intentional is what we already talked about, which is going out to the mound and ordering the high heat. Like, she wants to beat Kit. That doesn't mean she can't be happy that Kit has achieved something great. I think both of those things can be true at once, but I don't think she dropped the ball on purpose. I've gone back and forth on this a lot over the years, though. It's a tough one.
Our beloved Katie Banks said, quote, many of art's finest works revolve around lasting ambiguity. Did someone kill Tony Soprano? Is this an old lady or a young lass? Are Beatles songs really just hidden vehicles for satanic credits? And then she felt like this was up there. I think you have the correct point. We already established that she wanted to win the game from the pitcher's mound visit, and nothing would have changed over the course of, a minute and a half? And I also think she got trucked by her sister, and she just didn't know her sister had it in her, right?
Yeah.
It's just weird. I think it was more bad editing than anything.
I think ultimately what should have happened, and again, this is a movie that we love, is Dottie should hold on to the ball, but Kit should just beat the throw by half a step.
Oh, I disagree.
You like the drop? You like the ambiguity?
No, I like the collision. I think she should have, the hit, I think she should have dropped it as she was sprawling backwards versus landing and letting the ball go. I think that's what throws people off, because it seems like she's I'm letting it go.
I guess too, it is nice to kind of solidify the idea that even the best player can make a mistake in such a pivotal moment, right? That's baseball. That gets back to the Jimmy quote about it being hard.
Right. Well, this leads to my other unanswerable question. If women's baseball in the 40s was being covered like we cover pro sports now, what is Stephen A's take on First Take the next morning after this game? Is it what was Dottie's last name?
You brought this up. Henson.
What was Dottie? Dottie Henson. You've got to hold on to that ball. I don't care if it's your sister. I think Dottie's just getting destroyed. You're 6 inches taller than your sister. She can knock you over backwards. You drop the ball. Why are you holding the ball with your right hand? Why isn't it in your mitt with the ball? Like, you should be cradling it. What was the tag? Everything about it. It's I thought you were the best catcher in the league.
Well, there would be a couple cycles. You would have the initial, how could Dottie Henson not be ready for this moment? The clinching decisive play of
maybe she would have been ready if she had been there the whole time for the first 6 games.
If you hadn't quit on the team, Dottie. So there would be that. And then there would of course be the backlash to the backlash. A whole wave of coverage about how we need to find empathy and support Dottie, who tried her best. The media cycle around that moment would have been extraordinary. I mentioned the newspaper montages.
I thought you were going to throw in did she drop it intentionally? Is that, there's really 4 waves to it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think did she drop it intentionally is a whole second day.
That becomes like a scandal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she drop it? Was she trying to set up her sister? She knew she was leaving the league. She wanted to set up her sister for glory.
Maybe it becomes a sequel to the Black Sox scandal,